Right?
Music activates the mind and relaxes the soul.
Well, you hear in the background that wonderful lady said music relaxes the soul and it does something to the mind. I don't know what it's done to my mind over the years, having been in the music business for 50 years. Guess where we are today? And we drove through snow, and it's not even Thanksgiving yet. The 19th day of November, 2010.
We had some the end of October.
Yeah.
Long, but we got
And Calvin and I headed down the Military Turnpike, down through Route 11 in Malone, and ended up in Brushton, almost my old stamping grounds. And Jesse Kenyon's here. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you today?
I'm just delighted to be here. You know, there is a favorite word of mine that I've used, at least 4 million times on this show, and it's called serendipity. It's when things just happen by chance. And a neighbor of mine came to my house one day and said, I'd like to show you some pictures I have of Malone. And it said Jesse Kenyon on them. And there were like 25 photographs. And I said, oh, that building's still there. Oh, no, that building's, yeah, I know where that street is because I went to high school in Malira and spent a lot of time in Malone. And then I started reading on the back of the pictures about how these glass plate negatives were discovered. And all of that led us right to your house, just a little bit off the main drag in Brushton. Jesse, I'm pleased to meet you. I already met your mom as she's quilting over in the corner here, but she's a part of this whole story. Now, she said she's not from this area. That means you aren't either?
No.
Where were you?
But I did go to school here.
You went to school at Franklin Academy?
We came here in the 70s. No, I went to Brushton.
You did? Brushton, Malira?
Yes.
See how we're teammates?
Brushton,
I go to the reunion, the class reunions and the homecoming every single year.
Oh, yeah? I should go
Every year at the Legion in Brushton, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm there. If you go this year, next time, I'll be there.
Okay.
What year did you graduate?
79.
So you're almost local. You've been here for a long time. You were born where, Jesse?
Biloxi, Mississippi.
Oh my gosh. That's a fur piece from here, you know. Isn't that great? And
Military family.
Military, I could tell. Your mother started enumerating the list of places where she had lived. And to end up here in northern New York, isn't that amazing?
I know, it's awesome here. Really.
It's a good spot. And Calvin and I talk about it often privately and on camera. And I write for some magazines and a newspaper and so on. And I talk to business people and individuals almost every day about how wonderful it is to live in a rural community here in northern New York. And up until Calvin and I started doing this show, it was hard for me to convince folks from outside this area about how special it is.
Right.
Now this program is on the internet at Plattsburgh.com and HometownCableNetwork.com, so people in other parts of the world understand who we are and why we're here.
Cool.
So you found a home.
Yes.
Your mom found a home.
And I've even left and come back.
Oh, you gone?
Yes, I lived downstate for about 15 years and then came back.
So how did you get involved in photography?
Just always loved it as a kid. She got me a camera when I was 6, you know. So then I just got a camera of my own in 1980 something. And,
So you take a lot of pictures yourself.
I do take a lot of nature and flower, garden, floral, stuff like that.
A lot of nature stuff.
Butterflies, fall.
We got a lot of nature around the North Country.
I love it.
We had some
The rivers.
coming out of the sky as we drove down here today.
We got awesome rivers around here and mountains and beautiful fall Adirondacks. I mean, it's the picture perfect place to be. The lakes, the sunsets on the lakes are awesome.
Sunrises too, if you're up early enough.
Oh, well, I miss those.
Oh, do you?
Or I'm still up.
So one of the reasons we're here is to meet you, find out what your fascination is with nature in the North Country, and to talk about old pictures. We had a friend, Ron, the late Ron Venn, who loved to take old photographs, and he would look at a photograph and he would say, oh, I wonder where that was taken. And he would try to go and stand in that same spot today and take another picture.
Right.
Before and after.
Right.
And he had albums and albums and albums. Hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands, Calvin, huh? About 1,000 before and after photographs. And he would write down what it was and what was there and what's there now, and it's a motel instead of a gas station, and so on.
Oh, my.
So you were introduced to old pictures some time ago thanks to a former studio in Malone called
Rubadoo Studio.
Now that rings a bell because we've done a series of programs with Clyde Rabidou Sr. from our area, who's traced the different spellings of the name Rabidou, Rubadoo, Robadoo, Rubadoo, all over the country and the world. So that studio was here in Malone for a long time.
Forever. There's pictures from the 1890s but it was called Studio Photographic.
Was it?
Yes, I believe so.
So it ultimately closed. When was that? When did it shut?
87, I think.
87?
I think so.
We're hearing from the peanut gallery here because she's the one who knew the information. But you wrote this all up because?
It was so interesting to me. As soon as I saw the negatives, I was just like, I wish I would have seen these years ago. I would have never left, you know?
Now, we're talking about glass plate negatives.
Yes.
And how many were found? You said originally 400, but now you know it's over 500?
Right, it's about 500.
Were found in the shop?
Yes.
Yes, but there were more. There were a lot more. Other people got them first.
Oh.
And nobody knows where they went.
Now, were these glass plate negatives in boxes, on shelves? How were they stored that whole time?
Boxes,
In,
shelves.
in boxes and on shelves.
The whole basement of Rubadoo's is
Oh,
just a maze of
Oh, that's
glass
wonderful.
plates and regular
Well,
negatives.
we're hear you. We can't hear you on camera here on the microphone, but I'll repeat what you said.
Okay.
That they were found in the basement and different places on shelves and so on. So your mom knew somebody, and how did that? Explain how that.
She
Well, you're going to have to come on over here for a second. We're going to stop the camera for a second and bring you right over here. All right, tell me what your name is.
Meg Yeomans, Youmans.
We're so pleased to meet you. You were quilting when I came in, and I love quilts and people who do quilting.
I'm on my third one. But
Are you really?
Yeah, I probably got a couple more to
It's
go.
such a great thing to do, and it's part of the American and world history. All
Especially
right,
from around here.
all right. Tell me the story right from the beginning about Rubadoo. Is it called Rubadoo?
Rubadoo's.
Rubadoo Studio, and how you got involved.
Well, a friend of mine, Bobby Carter, bought Rubadoo's when Norbert retired.
Which was
Norbert,
what year?
1980s.
1980 something?
probably 83, 4, somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly
Okay.
when he opened.
Okay.
And he got a little, he had a heart attack and he had to go on the rest category. And I was out of work at that particular time and he offered me a job of coming in and helping. And that's what I did, and that's when I got all this stuff. And because there were times he was really strapped and he'd give me the pictures for working.
Isn't
And he also
that amazing?
he also gave me great insight between the difference in black and white and contrasting and stuff. He was an excellent teacher, especially because he was doing the schools at the time. And the portraits, he did all the portraits for Chateauguay that year.
Oh.
And I went out with him to do a couple of assignments, and then after he retired, then I took some of them on my own, which did a whole yearbook for Franklin Academy back in 87 or
No
88.
kidding. So you actually took pictures, right?
Uh-huh.
And were involved with it. I thought you came in after the fact.
No, I'm probably the one that started all the stuff here. But she started down in Schenectady with all her colored pictures.
Okay, so what happened now? It closed, so you got some of the print, some of
Right.
the
Well,
plates.
there was other people that got some too. What was left? Well, there was a girl from Rushton that got all the Moira Rushton pictures, their negatives, and then there was another one that from Malone that took all them, but she could find that were good out of Malone. So we kind of got the leftovers, and which were Mountain View and Chateaugay and
Titus.
Those are good areas. Those are
other
wonderful
ones,
spots.
whatever else is up there. And I had them stored because when I left here to go to further places, I got a job as a photographer for a photograph company that went into different stores and did their thing. I got a job doing that, and I didn't like it very much. And probably 4 or 5 months was enough for me. Dealing with the kids, the adults were sometimes even hard to deal, but all
I
the
love
kids,
it.
you just want to.
Sit still.
No, some of them were just doggone ugly.
Mean, yeah, I know.
But anyway, then I left there and
Uh-huh.
came back here after I went to Desert Storm, got that out of the way. Then I moved up here a little bit after that.
Desert Storm
She's a vet.
in the 90s?
Yes.
In the first Desert Storm.
Yes, 90-91.
Oh, believe me, well, you're sparking memories that I won't get into. But I was on the radio back then interviewing people who came back and they were processed through Plattsburgh, the former Plattsburgh Air Force Base.
Right.
So then you came back here after that.
Yeah.
So
Well, it took me a few
photography
years.
comes naturally to you.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's got my talent.
Totally
for it.
different photography, though.
Yeah,
We
different
both
kinds,
take
but-
pictures of the same thing, and it's not.
Yeah.
I've lost a
don't
lot
look
of
the
my
same.
edge as far as, calculating what I should do, and she does that. I used to be able to do it. I
There's
did weddings for a
nothing
couple,
like
3
the
years.
old black and white.
No, I used to love to
pictures.
get in the dark room.
And they capture the
Yeah.
history. But the glass plate negatives are a little fragile, aren't they? You have
Oh,
to
yeah.
be careful with those.
Right. There's some that are even on the Mylar, which must have been in the late 40s. They were plastic almost.
Oh, they were.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's
See,
a
I
few
did
of
not
them,
know
yeah,
that.
there's a
Like
few.
X-ray film.
No kidding.
Same thing, yeah.
So they weren't glass plate,
No.
right? The
Right.
glass plates were up
Previous
until.
to that, yeah.
Yeah.
Up until the 40s.
Well, I think Norbert still used them up, for special projects and stuff, because he would sell to, people would come, oh, do you have a picture of that? We want to have it as a presentation or something, and but you just can't imagine how many there were. And he did all the driver's license pictures.
Oh
Boxes
my
and
goodness!
boxes
Come
and
on.
boxes.
and
of
the
You
them.
senior
gotta be kidding.
pictures,
No.
all those. That's all
And-
those
and the-
negatives that are left
up
of the
through the 50s.
Yeah,
Well, I bet you mine is there because I
Must
took my
be.
driving test right there
yeah.
at the
probably
Arsenal
is.
in Malone.
I don't know where they went, but somebody get back the truck up in there and just started throwing things
Is it?
out.
Oh, what a
And there
shame.
was still
So
a
there was
ton
no
of-
provision when they closed the place for what to do with all
Well,
these pictures?
The most of them went to House of History. There were a few that
Thank goodness.
But
a
there
lot
was,
went out the window
Yeah,
down the river.
Oh, what a shame.
Who
Doesn't it
knows
just
what they
break
were?
your heart?
I know, it's awful. It's awful.
So you saved these for a long time,
yeah. I got them in '88 or '89.
not knowing what you'd ever do with them.
Well, that's true. I used to just print them up and use them as display and stuff. But I never sold. I only sold one big one with the guys in a boat. That's the only one I sold. That's the only one I had up for sale.
So then you came by them honestly, and you decided, well, she didn't know how to print them up, or you forgot how to do it? Or
I never
no.
did it.
She,
Oh, I thought you said
she
you
had a
printed up.
dark room and she printed up her own photographs and put some in an album.
But from the glass plates, I guess.
Right.
Okay,
did
so
that.
you never did it that way.
I didn't do it that way. I did it with the computer and the scanner.
But that wasn't something you knew how to do instantly. You had to do a little.
I had to figure out a way. And the way was, well, first of all, the scanners in 2003 did not have the light on the top for you to do negatives.
Oh, that's what it requires? I wouldn't
And the
know.
ones that do negatives only take film strips.
Oh, not big glass
not
plates.
glass plates that are this big or this big, So I used the desk lamp and held it over the glass plate, right?
Come on.
Well,
Come on.
that didn't work too great because then it had a cone shape and it was blocking out half the square. So I took a note card box and put white paper in it and scraped the writing off the light bulb because when I shined it on, it say Watts in the middle of the picture.
Who would ever guess? Isn't that amazing?
So then I'd have the box and I'd put a sheet of paper over the box and put the light on it so that way it dispersed the light evenly, and then I got the whole plate. And I did all the ones in the beginning like that until I went to the publisher and they decided to scan them all with their high-tech scanner that had an actual whole bed light on the top. And then they scanned them all for the book, Adirondack
But
Lifestyles.
yours were, it seemed to me, I haven't seen the others, but the ones I saw that were yours were pretty darn good.
Very cool.
So you must have figured out,
Oh, I scanned several different times.
oh my
I spent hours and hours and days. Oh my God.
So your mom is now into quilting. You don't take pictures anymore?
Very seldom. I have a slew of them on my digital.
Just give it up to the next generation.
Yeah.
So you made a whole bunch of these on your own. How many at first on your own?
Well, I had a couple hundred.
Well, it takes, if you have 300 or 400 negatives that you start with, you don't print them all. But then if you make a couple of each one, then you got 1,000 right off the bat, you know.
That's beyond belief. So did you start from the beginning thinking maybe I can make some money off of this stuff?
Yeah, she was
I
dreaming
thought-
about that.
I thought people would buy them, that they were pretty awesome, and that, you know, I thought I never seen anything like it before, and they were just so, I don't know how
Well,
to
when
say
I
it.
saw them, I was impressed just because of the historical value. Because I
Right.
believe, naively perhaps, that every photograph captures a moment. And it captures everything that is in that moment. The emotion, the people walking, the houses, that speck of time in history. And that looking at the picture, you can somehow bring out some of that stuff that happened at that moment when
Right.
the pictures were taken. So it had to be a kick for you, just the process of doing that.
Oh, and because some of the negatives were taken by Guy Dewey and Fred Taylor, and some of their friends were Herb Sieber. His brother wrote the Franklin County history book. Sieber, Taylor. Oh, now I'm confused.
Jeez.
Shears.
Oh, okay.
Um,
You have a much better memory than I do, so don't apologize for memory.
a couple other guys. But anyway, those guys were the surveyors that went around and surveyed the lakes and
Oh,
the
yes,
mountains.
sure.
And David D.D. Dewey was the father of Guy. It was David D. Couture Darius Dewey. Imagine that.
Whoa! There's a mouthful.
Anyway, he was the first teacher at Chateauguay. And then he came to Moira. He was the town clerk for a while. Then he became the town supervisor. And he was also a pastor at the church right in Moira.
So was my dad.
Huh.
How do you like that? Long after that, in the 50s.
So then I got thinking, well, Dewey, there was about 6 plates that were copies of glass plates, but they were glass plate copies.
Wow.
And they had Admiral Dewey in them when he was 36. In a
Isn't
rickshaw,
that amazing?
which I have printed up here.
Yeah?
And there was a picture of him with pictures of the Chinese junks. And this, I did a little research, bought a couple books about him to see if his family was directly related to Guy, because why would they be in this set?
Sure.
So I didn't really figure out how they were related because his tombstone doesn't say who his parents are. So
That's amazing. That's all wonderful history. Well, were they related? Did you ever find out?
I'm not sure. I
You
think
still didn't find out.
I still haven't found out because I can't find
Well, I bet you they
find out
were.
who his parents were. But
We'll get our genealogist friends involved there. Maybe they could figure it out because there had to be a connection. Why, like you said, why else?
right, except
you
for
had a
the
lot
fact
of-
that it was because of his last name. Now his brother. No, it was Admiral Dewey's brother, right? Thomas Dewey, that was the attorney for Dutch Schultz.
Sure.
Anyways, it's possible that he's in one of these pictures, Dutch Schultz.
Oh, really?
It's possible. And it's
Ooh.
also possible
So you really
that
got into the
Al
history.
Capone is in there.
Oh, I love it.
It's possible.
That's even better. When you get Al
I
Capone.
went on the internet and got pictures of them and overlaid them over the faces of the pictures that I have to see if they matched. And they did, but some people say it's not them, some people say it is, so it's up to you.
They're all a million stories,
Oh,
right?
my
As they say, a
God.
million stories in the naked city. Well, Jesse Kenyon, did you have a shop or did you do all your work right here in your home?
Right in my home, right in my bedroom.
So you're selling these things that you have for sale are for sale on the internet? Or
Yes,
how-
they're on eBay right now. Sometimes they're at Martin's Country Store. I have had them in different stores, but right now I'm doing them myself.
So maybe at some point in time, you'll open up a little storefront in Malone or something, you think, in the summertime? Or
I do craft fairs in the summertime.
Oh, you do?
The farmers market.
yeah,
That works
a lot
good
of people
because they
do
go
that.
to the
and
lakes, and a lot of people
We just came from
love
the craft fair.
pictures.
We saw some pretty nice photographs while we were there, black and whites, and discussed them with the photographer. So this is the first of all. This is the first book, right?
That's the one that the museum put out.
This is the one that House of History
Yes.
in Malone, the
Malone.
Franklin Academy Historical Association, right, with their House of History and
Franklin County Historical Society.
And so there are wonderful old photographs in here, but you weren't involved in any of this, right? This is before your time, right?
Right. Well, it was a year before my book came out.
Oh, it was? Oh, okay. We'll just show one or two of the photographs in here because it's just loaded with
Right.
pictures.
300 pages of pictures.
Now, we did a show a few years ago at the House of History with the new historian, right, Calvin?
Yep.
Maybe 3 years ago.
Probably.
And I don't remember seeing this book at that time, but it was there. Lots of old photographs. So then how did that generate this book?
Okay, I was selling pictures on eBay, and one of the guys that worked at Teach Services happened to see that I had a Chateauguay steamboat picture for sale on eBay, and apparently Chateauguay doesn't have very much for pictures. And I had called it Captain Tupper's Steamboat because that's the only thing I could find in the history book. And he said, "Can you prove it?" And, you know, then I zoomed in and found out it said Adirondack on it. So it wasn't Captain Tupper's. But he said, I said, "Well, I have other Chateauguays." So I started emailing him. And he's like, "Oh, my God, you should put a book together." And so they made an appointment, and I went over, and it was history.
So this is a couple years ago.
Right,
Now, you said the Rubberdo Studio was originally called Studio Photographic.
right.
And this just happens to be a picture of it. Am I too close, Calvin?
No, you're fine.
First page.
First page. So tell me about the process of putting the book together.
Well, they just scanned them and put them in. They put in interesting ones. There's supposed to be another one, but
Did you have any choice about what pictures went in the book?
pretty much I gave them a stack of pictures and said, these are ready. You can put these in.
And so
Because most of them are just, you know, they let you figure it out. They wrote a little caption under some of the museum. I had the museum involved with it, so they wrote the captions underneath.
oh, so you didn't have to do anything in putting it together? What did
Well,
you
I gave them the pictures,
Well, that's important.
and they were all printed. Like, I gave them a whole stack because they, you know, they didn't know what ones they were going to put in.
Now, what's the name of the company that published this book?
Teach Services,
Teach Services.
right.
How did you come across them? How did you find them? And that
That
are they
the
local?
guy that worked for him found me on eBay, just
Okay.
like you did.
I found you long before that.
Well, he emailed me.
Oh,
from
I know
eBay.
Calvin did because he saw the book there, and then we got. And I said to Calvin when I saw those pictures, because my neighbor, I had him on my kitchen table. I say, Malone, I know Malone. Wait a minute, I know that place. And so that's how I first heard your name. But I didn't know Jesse was a man or a woman or anything about you until Calvin contacted you.
Jesse is Jesse for male and IE for female.
It is. See how smart you are.
Not really.
That's that all comes from your military service, right?
Just like, the Civil War soldiers
Now,
marching.
many of these pictures are well over 100 years old in this
yeah.
book.
No, they are.
How many pictures are in the book?
Oh, a little over 300. There's 300 pages, but I think they might have a couple of pictures on a page.
I can't remember in
someplace.
the 50s when I was in Malone whether we had any elephants in town.
That
But I can tell you that the circus was here from time to time.
the Barnum and Bailey Circus was here, and the president of the Fair Historical Circus and Fairs Historical Association, he even bought a picture of it, and he looked it up and told me the exact date they were here, and that the elephants weren't the Asian ones. It was after that.
Isn't that amazing how you learn that? You'd think our ice storm was the only one that ever hit this area? Take a look at this, Calvin. That's a
After a fire,
Oh, that was after a fire.
that's a fire
Oh,
they
that
put
was a
out.
big fire. Oh.
But there
yeah.
was a lot of
I can see
snow
there's
too.
no roof on the building. That makes. Yeah.
But the water froze right to the trees.
Oh my goodness. These are wonderful, and there are pictures here that would still be familiar to people today,
Right.
because many of the photographs, many of the buildings still exist, right, Jess?
Well, half of them probably.
Have you ever taken a walk down the street saying this building's here, this building isn't here?
A little bit.
You have.
Yeah.
I wish they left left that memorial like it was back then, but they
Yeah,
go
wouldn't
screw
that-
it all up.
They moved it because it was too hard to plow around it. So
As we drove through town today, I said to Calvin, see that building? That's still there. That's been one of Jesse's pictures. Right on the corner. What is that, Duane Street? Yeah, I think that's Duane Street.
Dwayne is down farther. Goes off to the left.
oh no,
Goes
that's
right down here and down below, right?
Harrison
Yeah.
Place.
Oh, yeah.
Harrison Place for the.
So you
Harrison
have,
School.
how many pictures in this book?
About 300.
I bet you there's no picture of the caramel corn in here. Do you remember the caramel corn in Malone? No, that's before your time. I forget that you're young and I'm
Yeah,
old.
we moved up here in '72, so
Well, this was back in the 1950s.
yeah. She wouldn't have-
There are lots of places that are very famous, like Mountain View, and Owl's Head, and Titus, and Whippleville. So you got pictures of Titus
Yes.
and Mountain View.
And the Titus pictures are of the Hales.
Oh yes.
There's pictures of the Lawrences from the Lawrence Hotel in Moira. There's a picture of a French
Are
girl.
you ready to get down
The bathing suits there, that one's cool.
Oh, I love the bathing suits.
A lot of people that can't buy that.
Can you imagine wearing wool, one-piece bathing suits? Oh, did you laugh when you saw some of these?
Oh, and so do everyone else. Now that house just burnt, a couple years ago.
The Brush House in Brush's Mills?
Right.
Yeah, this one over here.
No, over next to the church.
Oh,
Next
yeah.
to the Catholic church.
Yep.
And that isn't there anymore either.
No,
That's across from the Rutland station. You're in the Moira part.
I love this stuff, of course. The school hall in Brushton, that building still exists.
Moira.
Right?
That's Moira,
Yeah.
right across from the hotel.
It says School Hall, Brushton, New York. How come it says School Hall, Brushton, New York? That's what it says, right?
Ask the Franklin County Historical Association.
Oh, okay. Anyway, there are lots
Well,
and
it
lots
looks
of
like
pictures.
one in Brushton. There is a building that looks like that, so they could
Yeah.
get confused.
And many of these, now, which Best was this? Do you have any idea? I remember a guy named Kermit Best when I lived there. And I hate to mention connections because I forget. It's like you said you have photographs of the old Moira High School.
Right.
And
Is it in there?
it could be in here. I had seen a few.
How much of the book?
Huh?
How much of the book?
Oh, how much are the books?
$49.95.
$49.95. Available.
At bookstores, but you can get them. I can get them, and they're at the museum. They sell them too.
And they can. How about contacting you directly somehow?
They can contact me
How?
directly through my email, adirondack.lifestyles@gmail.com, or on eBay. I have pictures on there, so they could.
Do you have an
email.
actual website?
I'm on Facebook.
you are?
I have a Facebook site with albums galore on it.
Or do they just look Jesse Kenyon?
Yes,
Okay, so they'll find you easily on
but
Facebook.
it's easier to. Apparently, there's more than one of me. So.
Oh no! There can only be one of you, Jess. Come on.
So, you go by Adirondack.lifestyles to find me to get the real deal.
Well, the point I was making before, as she's looking through the book, is the fact that I had a painting that was done for me in the early 1950s by a woman named Gladys Dow, a painting of the old Moira High School, which was built, as far as I know, before the Civil War.
Yes.
And was torn down after I graduated, and of course then the centralization came, and now it's Moira Brushton. But there weren't many actual paintings of that school that I know of. And so I hauled that thing around with me all over the country and finally cleaned it up a little bit and donated to the little historical group in Moira. Well, there you are. First of all, two pictures here, Calvin. One is the Methodist Church that we mentioned here.
That Dewey was pastor
That
of.
Dewey was, and my dad, Russell E. Little. Some of our viewers from this area will remember my dad, who was a magician and a minister.
All right.
And there's the old Moira High School that I graduated from in June of 1955. And it's said that during a heavy windstorm, it swayed several inches back and forth in the wind. It was probably condemned for the last 50 years of its existence. But it's a wonderful photograph, and trying to remember who lives there now. There's a house there now, and I know the guy who lives there. Well, that's all right. So you had fun putting this together.
Yes, I did. I want to get into this. This is the part that really got to me. It's all the hunting and fishing that's going on here. And the
Well,
old
of course,
boats.
that's a huge, oh yeah, the boats in the Adirondack region.
The taxi boats. They go and bring the people to their camps and pick them up and take them to church on Sundays and
Oh, they did.
bring them to
It was
the
a whole different way of
store.
life, wasn't it?
Yes.
Back in those days. And
People from the city would come up on the trains and they'd have their workers go set their tents up while they stayed at the hotel, the Mountain View House.
Bertha Taylor and May Dewey. Look at this and this. Oh, is it?
I donated that picture to Hillary Clinton when she came to Saranac Lake for the women's shelter.
You did?
Yes, I did.
You personally handed it to her?
No, I sent it.
Oh, you did?
I sent it with someone that was going to be there. I think Comlinks, somebody in Comlinks.
What a
was
classic photograph. And many of these places that were stunningly wonderful back in those days are very quiet. Tourists come in different numbers now and people buy camps and so on. Look at this, Chateauguay Ore and Iron Company, a steamer here, huh?
The Adirondack steamer.
Isn't that here on the left side? Yeah, isn't that so cool?
That's one that I
So how did you think of different themes? How did you figure out what order to put them in, Jess?
Well, it's kind of like transportation and, hunting, fishing, camping, and, Malone by the towns, Moira.
So there was, you thought about an order, and then you got together with the,
Right.
yeah. Look at there, boy, here, look at these fishermen here. This, you mentioned him already, right?
That's Guy
Dewey?
Dewey and Fred Taylor, and they were both photographers of all these hunting and fishing scenes of all the lakes. And this right here is Seneca Ray Stoddard.
Well, Seneca
and,
Ray Stoddard. If there anybody who isn't familiar with the name of Seneca Ray Stoddard, then they don't know the history of photography in the Adirondack region. And believe me, Jesse, back in his day, did you ever see the piles of stuff that he had to take with him
my
when he went in,
goodness.
when he climbed the mountains with with cameras and canvases and helpers to carry the stuff up the sides of these mountains?
Oh my God.
And how many of the old stereoscopic pictures, the stereo pictures that are the stereoscopes that our grandmothers had, he took hundreds and hundreds of those. And I don't mind saying that some of the Stoddard pictures are now getting to be worth quite a bit of money. A North Country Adirondacks author by the name of Maitland DeSormo from the High Peaks area was a dear friend of mine and wrote many books about historical figures, including Seneca Ray Stoddard. And he got a lot of the Seneca Ray Stoddard photographs. And then some of the photographs ended up being turned into a beautiful video done by our friend Paul Frederick up in West Shazy. He lives out in the country on the Frederick Ranch. The whole family has their own little places out in the country. And it was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen with music and so on. So have you ever seen others? Have you got some of those Seneca Ray photographs or no?
No.
Well, there are some of those are around.
The size of these trout back then, it's awesome. That was a 4.5 pound trout.
Look at these.
And this is Jessie Carr. Now, I bought those negatives.
Oh, you did?
Someone. Someone had them in their attic, and she lived in Burke. And she also had a camp up at Chateauguay Lake. So this is on the Merrill boathouse, or the Merrill boat dock. And this is at Chateauguay, her mess of fish that she caught.
Isn't that amazing? Not so easy to catch fish like that anymore, is there?
That's at the base of the Mountain View Dam. And this is a bunch of guys in line for moonshine.
Come on!
Yes.
Moonshine?
Look at the buckets, jugs all on the ground, and the guys sitting at
Not moonshine in the Adirondacks. Come on!
the guys sitting here taking the money right here.
That'd be like making a drug deal on the corner down in Malone. Oh my goodness!
This was taken for the Post Standard. Apparently, that was in
Look
the
at these
newspaper.
old hunting camps. I
That
can't show every picture in the book, then people won't buy it, Jess. But
Yes, they will.
oh yes, they will. You think they will?
Sure.
Okay, go buy the book, and you can own this book. Oh, look at the hounds! Dear God, Jess.
A lot of people love them hounds. They think they're a hoot.
So I wonder how many more glass plates like this and old photographs are in people's basements and drawers, and
Oh my God, who knows?
because the Rebato studio wasn't the only studio in the history of Malone. There are other
Right,
studios
there were,
through the
'cause
years.
there are pictures of, you can see the other studios in some of the pictures.
Oh my goodness!
Look at the size of those
This is
deer.
we're recording this on the 19th of November during hunting season. Want to see some nice game, folks? Look at this. So don't tell me about your 135-pound 4-point buck. Whoa, look at that. You're talking 180, 185-pound deer. I love, as you can see, I love this stuff. Fred Taylor, Bertha Taylor, May Dewey and Indian Lake, 1896. Take a look at the costume. Take a look at the hard faces. Those people were living in the country, even though they were dressed pretty nice for being in camp, weren't they?
Nice tent set up there.
Oh, isn't that
And
great?
they actually flew the American flag when they were camping.
Yeah, that's kind of cool, too. Oh, my
The
goodness.
two ladies here popping corn on the
Oh, look at
wood
this.
stove.
Look at this one.
May and Bertha Dewey. And what one's this? Oh, their table all set. They've got
I can't
trout,
believe how, yeah, look
fried
at
trout, and they've got bread, homemade bread on the table with dishes.
they live pretty high off the hog, so
I'd
to
say,
speak,
yeah,
I would say, out in the country.
And that's Guy Dewey and Fred Taylor again in their tent with their mosquito mats
got a little-
and their little socks hanging in the,
Oh, I
to
love
dry.
Is it? Did you giggle when you first saw these
Oh,
things?
my
Isn't
God.
this the neatest thing?
Giggle
I got
every
one of
time.
those little old camps chairs like that dates back
Mm-hmm.
to the 1860s. I probably should.
You got to check out that bed they slept on.
Now you see, if I were to jump on that bed, I'd end up right in the water.
I would have never thought that they would make a bed out of trees
Oh sure.
and tree branches and put a feather mattress on it to go camping.
Oh, just beyond belief, isn't it? And we think we have luxury in our campers, right?
Right.
Oh, I love these photographs. Of course, a chilly Lake Titus morning. Look at these ladies over here on this side.
That was titled on the negative, Lake Titus Freaks.
Was it really?
Yes.
Come on.
He's got an axe. She must have fell in the water.
Oh, you look at that. Yeah, she look.
And he looks like he's trying to cut her hair off.
And that hat on the left-hand side looks like Buster Keaton's hat. Remember from the old movies? And then you see the old bowler hats and.
Now that's the group, the Hale group. And they had a party that went between. Actually, that probably wasn't the party.
They look like they're frozen to death right there. They used to have skating parties back in
Yes.
those days, and they'd build a fire by the side of the water and go skating and
They
lace their.
spend Thanksgiving there, their holidays. This is a nice one. This guy is Barnes, and I think Lincoln,
Just look at the leisure here.
his last name.
With the pipe and the skin on the
The bear
porch,
skin
the bear
porch,
skin, and
the
just
hammock.
relaxing and taking life easy.
Now that's the Lake Titus shot, and apparently back in the day, they wore their suits in the water, the men. Their whole suit. He's fully clothed.
That's very, very strange.
And this is a benefit of some sort.
Yeah,
at Lake
for
Meacham.
those of people who are from the North Country, you'll recognize Meacham Lake. Meacham Campground is a little different now than it was back in those days.
That's a black tie event.
Yeah, a black tie event at Meacham Lake. Oh boy, look at this.
The snowshoes.
Snowshoes and snowshoe parties in the wintertime.
That's Lake Titus.
Either one of those, Calvin, or both of them. Isn't that amazing?
Now I had a guy on eBay write me. He's writing a book about the snowshoes. He said 3 different people made them through the state. And he bought all the pictures of the snowshoes that I have, and I let him have a release to put them in his book.
This could, who knows what this is going to turn out to be for you?
There are a lot of books. The old guide story, they used my Chateauguay pictures in that book.
Oh my.
A lot of restaurants decorated. Walmart decorated with 20.
You know, it's something I mentioned to Calvin. A lot of the restaurants up our way, too, have taken these glass plate negatives, turned them into beautiful pictures and all around the restaurants. And isn't it pleasing to sit down and...
Yes, and they're just striking.
You know, you go down south to the Cracker Barrel restaurants, and they have all old photographs and old things. And
Steak on a stick.
oh, steak on it. Look at, there's Guy Dewey again. Steak on a stick. Look at this.
And they got rolls
Isn't
and everything.
that the greatest? Well, you know, camp life wasn't that bad by the looks of it. He's got the old creel hanging up there. I had one of those old creels. And
I love this tree tent on Twin Pond.
look
in
at
Duane.
this. Come on. A tree tent.
Platform.
You know, in those days they did put, when we used to go camping to the old church camps when I was a young kid, even at Moore's camp meeting, there were a lot of tents. And the tents were on platforms.
Well, the
Obviously,
ground is very cold. I've slept.
so the critters
tried
couldn't
to
get
sleep
in on you.
before on there. It's very cold down there on the ground.
Now here's a cottage at Ralph's Upper
Yep.
Chateauguay,
Upper
right?
Chateauguay Lake. This is the main hotel, and then that's the cottage that apparently, certain people would stay.
Well, you know what that cottage reminds me of? There's a building. If it's not identical, if it's not the same building, it's very close at the Blue Mountain Lake Adirondack Museum.
Oh.
I wonder, because they did move some buildings there, as you know. And boy, that one sure does look familiar to me. These are
That's
all,
the hotel, the full view of it.
yeah, these, people came from a long...
This is the Dewey family. This is David Dee Dee Dewey and Fred Dewey and some of the elders. He's sitting on his backpack.
Sitting on his
Pack basket.
On his pack basket and his beautiful white beard.
Who was the one that
Boy, isn't
did the
it?
Dewey Decimal System?
That was another Dewey. I forgot his name.
Was
Well,
he
we're-
related
I was
to
just-
those guys?
He probably was related to him.
Those are the Surveyor boys.
Yep.
Shears and Sieber and Taylor.
Oh, just wonderful, wonderful
The
photographs.
Mountain View House, that's an awesome place.
Now, wait a minute. That's gone now, right?
Yes, it is.
That's, unfortunately, that is gone. Right here.
Oh, when I went to their house, the people that own that piece of property, they fell in love with these pictures. They bought
Well, how
a
could-
ton of them.
Did they really?
Oh, yes. And they were all up in their
Oh.
dining room. The whole family.
Some of these can be enlarged any size you want, right?
Oh, yeah. And they're beautiful. They're clear as day.
Want to show us your big one?
So, yeah, get that big one over there and let us take a look at it.
Didn't have to shut the book.
Now, for those people who are just tuning us in, we're talking with Jesse Kenyon. And tell me about this picture, Jess.
This picture is a birch canoe laced with rawhide. And Fred Taylor and Eugene Lowe are in there. Eugene is right here. And he's the one that built the Mountain View house that we just talked about. And it looks like they're on Indian Lake out for a morning stroll.
So when somebody looks at your pictures online, for example, buys the book or sees the other pictures, you can sell them individual pictures if they want them.
Right.
You can enlarge it any size.
Yes. Actually, you can even have murals made.
Come on.
I'm serious.
How the heck would they do that?
There's a big mural at Walmart all right over the customer service.
Oh, my.
It's like 7 foot by 12 foot.
And Malone?
Yes. Walmart and Malone.
Well, we're just going to have to
They
check
saw the
it out.
pictures at Mary's Sunrise. I used to have a basket in there, and when they were building Walmart, somebody tracked me down, just like you guys,
No kidding.
and wanted.
I hope lots of people track you down. Look at Loon Lake. Let's talk about Loon Lake and the pictures at Loon Lake. This is wonderful. Loon Lake was such a popular golf course and hotel, and it was closed down as some of my kids were growing up, and we used to just walk around up there and say,
That's the
What
postmaster.
what this place must have looked like when Loon Lake was in its prime. Oh,
These are
my.
people.
Oh, come on. Look at this charming, charming photograph here of these kids.
The boys' band.
Oh, of course. And when I was a little boy, of course, playing cowboys and Indians, now it wouldn't even be politically correct, would it? But in those days, and of course, my dad had a mission church in Hogansburg, so I grew up with a lot of Native American kids. You know, that's what else are you going to call this unless you knew the man's name? Man with pipe.
Yep.
Huh?
Old man and
But
chair.
it was a way of life, wasn't it? To have the old pipe and the...
No furniture. And what's in the background? You know, the wallpaper. Look at that chair.
Yeah, look, I don't know.
It looks like a patch quilt chair, doesn't it?
Let me ask our viewers a question. Calvin and you, Jess, when's the last time you saw somebody smoking a pipe? A long time for me. And I used to own about 20 pipes and blend my own tobaccos and...
Mr. Whitman.
here we just finished Halloween. And here's a little guy trying to carve a jack-o'-lantern, isn't he, over
Yeah.
here?
And Burke.
Now, are these all from glass plates? Negatives?
In the
all
book,
these
yes.
pictures? Every single one? Oh.
Well, that one's not.
That one's not, but we know that Babe Ruth made a number of visits. He loved the North Country.
Yes, he did. He'd come here on all
He
his
stayed at the
vacations.
old hotel up on the bluff and played golf at the Bluff Point Golf and Country Club. And now every once in a while, I'll turn on a program called Antiques Roadshow.
Oh, yeah.
And every once in a while you will see a chest like this. Either a steamer trunk or a tool chest. That's a pretty fancy one right
Yes,
there.
look at all the
Maybe,
tacks on
I
it.
don't know, that would be a hope chest maybe, who knows?
Now, this is the Lawrence house where the crossroads is.
Well, the crossroads was, now that it's out of existence, right?
Yes.
Isn't that sad? Just for the sake of history, I'll tell you and the rest of our viewers that my senior class had the first ever banquet held at the crossroads. And I used to set pins in that little bowling alley, mechanically, not automatic pin
Oh,
setters.
my goodness.
All
They had the bowling alley
through
back
high
In
school.
the beginning.
Soldiers at camp. There's a good shot. Since we've had quite a few shows and pictures of soldiers during the Civil War, during the various encampments and things around Plattsburgh and the whole history of the former Plattsburgh Air Force Base.
These are a bunch of guys at the stone quarry.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, this one's cute.
Oh, the banjo.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this with the banjo. What's the oldest photograph you have?
1875.
So you don't have any of the old photographs from the actual Civil War era then. That was the 1860s up
Right.
to 1865.
Just have soldiers marching.
You know, people might not understand this until we talk about it, because this says Oddfellows. They may think they're strange people, but
It's a
they're
group.
a member of the organization called the Oddfellows. Right?
Yes.
Oh gosh. Boy, are these memories. Those old barber chairs. Look at this. Look at this. My granddaughter's husband's grandfather was Paul Marlowe, was a barber in Malone for 40 or 50 years before he died.
I heard that name before.
Marlowe's, yes, oh, come on. I love this. Do you know anything about this picture? Dear God, come on, folks. Look at this. The town drunk, it says. Look at him.
Looks like they bought.
His descendants may not be too happy with that photograph. And
They
what?
put new clothes on him and
Oh,
dressed him all up and give him a nice old bottle. And he probably was.
I think maybe somebody staged that picture. But look at this, the kill. We've talked awful lot about this too. The charcoal kill. Charcoal was big business around here, especially around Chateauguay Lake, Shazy Lake,
Right.
up through the mountains around there.
This one happened to be at Mountain View.
Mountain View, town of Belmont.
And
Oh,
that I'm not sure where that is. I haven't figured that out
MacArthur's
yet.
place. That may be one of those stereoscopic pictures, because there are two sides to it, I can see.
Oh, is it MacArthur's place? I didn't think there
Well,
was
look
a
at the
river
mill
back
dam at C.A. MacArthur's. Look at this. That's another great. Some of these are just classic shots, aren't they?
there. Oh my God, C.A. MacArthur.
Do you think you'll ever come across any more old pictures like this, or
You never
You think-
know. Some people say, "Hey, I've got some." You know, will you want to
Well,
buy them? They're all over the internet.
I think the pressure's on you to preserve a lot of this stuff and to work with. It's fun to work with the historical associations, isn't it?
Yes, that is C.A. MacArthur and Dewey and them on a hunting trip, and that they hung their deer up at the porch. Now,
Oh boy.
if you go to that plot of land, C.A. MacArthur's gravestone is right in the front.
Oh, it is.
Yep.
Oh well. here's something that I go to cover every year, the Winter Carnival in Saranac Lake with a different theme every year. And look at this, from 1909. There are two sides, so you can look at both of these. From 101 years ago. Isn't that amazing?
Oh, and they were so into it. I mean, look at all the people that attended these parades.
Oh, yes, of course, parades were big time back then. The Winter Carnival has been ongoing for such a long time with the King and the Queen and the... Well, here's what the Ice Palace looked like, in case you think it's something brand new up there in Saranac Lake. No, been going on for a very, very long time. Oh, these are, I guess you know these.
That's the Bell Telephone Company during an ice storm in Saranac Lake.
You mean they had other ice storms besides our ice storm?
1940 something,
Yeah.
46.
Now, did you have to study a little bit of the history of each one of these pictures, or how did that just...
Some of them envelopes were marked.
They were.
But that was it. And somebody that worked for the telephone company noticed the insignia on the car, on the trucks.
Oh, no kidding.
And that's...
So that's...
Because I thought they were fire trucks, you know? And he said, no, those are telephone
Well,
trucks.
remember when we were doing the show the other day, the craft show, we asked the guy where he was from, and you know what he said? I'm from Duane. Either one of those. Either one of those.
Ayers
Both
Observatory.
from Duane, New York.
Bill Burnell.
Yeah, Bill Burnell. There you go. And he is he the one that sells the Amish?
Yep.
Amish things. Takes orders. Tupper Lake Armor and Company. Tupper Lake.
Look at those guys, all the guys that work there out front.
I hope some senior citizens are watching this.
It took me a while to figure out where that was, too. That,
did it really?
Oh, yes. It wasn't, nobody in Malone recognized it. And then you see the bottom, it doesn't have a basement. It's built to be near water.
Sure.
So when I went up to Tupper Lake, people told me that that's where it was. Look at the garden.
This flower garden over here.
Mr. Bonesteel loves that.
Really?
Yeah.
So how long has this book been out?
A couple of years.
2 or 3 years now?
I don't know, I have to look at-
Well, that's all right. And it's still selling,
Oh,
right?
yes. That's
Oh, my.
inside the camp at Titus.
Well, you know, we, Calvin and I have been inside Camp Kettle, right here on this side. And
This
some of
was the Squirrel Inn. What else did they call it?
I love it. Some of the modern hunting camps haven't changed much over the years. They like to keep it that way. Collins Camp, Indian.
Collins Camp. There
Yeah.
you go.
Oh my goodness. Backyard necessities. I wonder why they called it that.
Because the term from England, you go to the necessary.
Well, of course there is. I knew that, but I needed you to chime in. I've written several newspaper columns about the necessities and the chamber pots, and I've got books of privies from all over the world. Some of them are pretty fancy. How about that, huh? That's wonderful. Well, I finished my last cup of coffee about an hour before I came here, so I wouldn't have to go to the necessary or the necessity.
There's the Waverly House. That's gone now.
Yes, there. Oh, goodness sake, look at that.
St. Regis Falls. Not very many pictures of that area either.
No, and it's too bad. It's a great town. We used to, of course, that was right not too far from Moira, and we play ball up at St. Regis Falls quite
And
a bit.
this looks like that mill on Bombay. The one that's on the South Bombay Road next to the bridge that used to be a covered train bridge.
You think so? You could be right.
I think so because I go fishing there, and that looks like in the background of the river.
Now, see, you got to go out and take pictures now and take pictures then. Our good friend,
I have
The
a
late
picture.
Ron
I
Venn
did take
did
a
that.
picture of that.
did you really?
Yes, I do have it.
Oh my God.
His
You know,
bottles.
there were a lot of farms around Malone even when I grew up, and I spent a lot of time picking potatoes and who knows what else to make my 10 cents a bushel. Look at the spinach farm
It
over
was
here.
Langdon's then.
Langdon's spinach farm. Isn't that a riot?
Look at the size of those potatoes.
And there's potato harvest. I think it was Child's farm that I worked on up on the
Right.
military.
I think it's the same
Oh.
area.
Same area.
That's that ice storm. Another part of it.
No, you want to see an ice storm? Boy, this was replicated in our area. This one is 97 years ago, 1913. And Calvin still has, what, more than an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours of uncut, hours and hours and hours of uncut video
Of ice
from
storm.
the ice storm. Have you ever put it on, some of it on the internet?
It
No?
will be shortly.
And it's never been
Oh,
seen
my.
by the public. I'll have to add some of mine because I got a few hours too. Everybody rode around with their cameras back in those days. It was just, oh, these are two good things. Here's a lineman on the lines during that ice storm in 1913. Then the poor picture on this side. Take a look at the ice storm and the snow, and look at this guy.
Happy
He's saying Thanksgiving. I think we ought to cancel that holiday.
Harvey's turkeys.
Oh my goodness, look at that. Of course you gotta have doggies.
And he's standing on the crate that glass negatives came in.
Come on.
Either,
MAC Dry Plate Company, St. Louis, Missouri. Look at that.
looked it up
There were
on
some
the
of those
internet.
boxes weren't still around when you got the, you don't know. Your mommy would know, but she's making quilts.
I got something interesting here.
So Teach Services, this is somebody in Brushton, New York?
Yes, on the Donovan Road. I don't know if it's
Oh, I
there
thought-
now. He sold it to his brother-in-law. And the main office is in Arizona now.
So this was published right here.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, that's just the way it should be then. And you think it's gone now? Where are you gonna publish your next book?
I don't know.
Well, you'll have to figure out something.
This is a silo raking.
You know, we've talked a lot about silos. I still notice across from Calvin's house, those silos are still there on the old cast iron farm.
6 out of the 9.
6 out of the 9, but they're still landmarks as you drive down the ridge road. And these are the old silos. Yes, I've spent a lot of time in and around the silos, trying not to breathe in the vapors.
These are the McMillan sisters from McMillan Mills in Malone. They raised sheep and produced wool.
Really?
And that's why they've got those nice homemade clothes on.
Oh.
And this is a little shot of a hunting scene.
She's ready to blow something away. I don't know if it's the photographer or something running through in the woods there. Oh, I love these pictures.
And this is a scene that I think might be Dutch Schultz. Him right there and those two guys with him with the funny hats.
You think Schultz, Dutch is the guy with the shirt on? With the shirt? Or
No,
the
no,
one,
no, the one with the hat, the
oh,
boss
right,
hat.
right next to the left of middle.
Because the boss wore a certain hat and then his guys wore different hats.
Really? You got the definitive word, huh? The Northern Garage Corporation.
This is Mert Jury. He was a famous horse sulky in Malone.
Oh, I wish Jack Connell were still alive. He would appreciate that because Jack spent a lot of time racing at the Malone Fair and all the other fairs in the North Country before he died in a tragic fire in his home a few years back.
This is the fire department, and now we know why the buildings burned down so fast.
Oh, look at this. Isn't this beautiful? My friend Mr. Fisher has been a call fireman in Malone for I don't know how many 100 years. Just had a big operation on his legs and he's doing better. Frank Fisher.
This is inside the old Hyde's drugstore, where they had the soda shop.
Hyde's drugstore, it seems to me.
Where Kinney's used to be,
Yeah.
near the theater, cinema.
And the Justice of the Peace in Moira, when I lived there, was Mr. Hyde,
Oh, yeah.
who was also a blacksmith. I spent a
I have a
lot
picture
of
of
time.
Mr. Hyde, too.
This Mr. Hyde or the one in Moira?
I don't know. I think it's this one.
Who knows? They were probably all.
It was titled Per
related.
Happy Hyde.
Oh, really?
This is when they were constructing the Salmon River Bridge in Malone.
Look at this. Look at the timbers.
That was a big
Now,
project.
these aren't in any book yet, right?
Actually, all the bridge pictures are in there.
Oh,
There's several. There's
Uh-oh.
probably 8 or 10 scenes
oh
of
my goodness.
the construction
look
of
at,
that.
Look at this. Big time operation. Most of these are in the book, you said.
Yes.
Okay.
And this is an old time snowplow.
Oh boy. Talk about memories. Look at this. I'll show that to my son Dale, who worked for DOT and just retired, putting so many thousands and thousands of miles on every winter on the Northway.
Now this is interesting. In the beginning I did go door to door up to Mountain View, and I knocked on this person's door, and he said, "Do you have any pictures of Owl's Head?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Do you by any chance have a picture of a car accident on Shepherd Bridge?" I said, "Yes, I do." He goes, "That was my father."
Mr. Angus Gagnon
Yes,
in Whippleville.
yes. All he got for an injury was a puncture wound behind his ear on that
You
accident.
wonder how
That bridge
What?
collapsed.
the bridge collapsed when he was in the middle of it.
I don't know if he hit it and it collapsed or what.
That's an amazing picture. I love it. And that, see, and that happened to be his father,
Yes,
and he didn't have the picture.
right.
Oh, I love it.
That is when we
You know,
first...
just by doing this. Oh yes, I remember this place too. Just by doing this, you become a part of history.
Right.
Isn't it great? You're
Yes.
playing it all out, meeting some of the descendants of some of these people. And you know what?
And you
People
get to
love.
visit with
Oh,
them.
people
It's
love
so-
pictures.
You get to hear stories, other stories.
That's Dr. Somebody's camp, and I can't read the name.
Dr. Dowsey's camp up at Mountain View, and that's where the people used to go with tuberculosis.
Oh, they did up there too,
Yes.
huh? There are so many cure cottages and camps throughout the entire region.
That's
weren't there?
still there. I've been inside.
Oh, it
there.
is?
It's awesome. A lady
Still
in Texas
somebody keeps
owns
it up?
Yes.
Oh, isn't that nice?
This is Adirondack Packing Company before it was Glazier's.
Anybody from the North Country knows about Glazier's hot dogs. And my kids used to say, "Can we have crunchy hot dogs?" Right?
Yeah.
Crunchy red hot dogs, they called them.
This is inside the Flanagan, the dining room.
We came by there today. I said to Calvin, "Well, the old building's not fallen down yet. Let's see what happens in the future." Oh, yes, I recall it like that. Oh, my goodness.
Now this is Admiral Dewey in the rickshaw when he was about 36 years old. He wasn't an admiral then, he was a lieutenant.
This is from China,
Yes.
right? 1840s or 50s? Ooh.
Right.
Ooh.
And this is a scene when they were at the Coliseum and all the sailors are lined up across the top of the Coliseum and filling all the seats. And that's his writing. That's Admiral Dewey's writing on there.
Is it really?
Yes.
1890s. U.S. Navy was there. I've never been to a bullfight, and I don't think I ever want to go to a bullfight.
And this is a
But old
picture
Papa Hemingway
of the...
sure liked him, I'll tell you that.
Those are the Chinese junks when he was in China.
Oh, these are great.
There's also the Straits of Magellan. There's a couple of ships, one shooting off a 12-inch cannon,
Really?
which came out just after the Battle of Manila Bay. They didn't have the 12-inch cannons for that battle, but after that they got
You
them.
learned a lot getting into this stuff, didn't you, Jess?
Yes, I did. Now these, I don't know about this company, but Fontaine Fox was a famous cartoon artist.
Oh gosh, do we? I'm sure Calvin remembers the Toonerville Trolley cartoons. We've talked a lot about cartoons and cartoonists and artists. Oh, Tomboy Taylor, look at this. I think these pictures are in that group that this friend of mine let me borrow that came from your studios.
This is a letter from Ann Cartwright. She's the president of this club, the Toonerville Trolley Club. She bought pictures off of eBay.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, and she wrote me a little
And
note.
wrote you a nice,
She
just
said
so people can tell that she is a real person and she wrote an official letter to you.
and she's looking for a wrapper, if anybody has a wrapper to this candy, which I haven't come across.
Really?
And she said this is a rare, because the cartoons, that's one of the rarest ones with the parrot on the back of the trolley.
Oh, it is. Oh, I remember the Toonerville Trolleys very well. And so, what is she looking for? A wrapper for some
The actual wrapper for the Maple Crispets company.
Malone, New York, 1926. Well, who would have a wrapper? Come on.
You know what? I bet you that guy in Bangor does. Have you ever been in that little museum?
No.
Not yet.
Oh my God.
Not yet.
Not
That-
yet, but you never
You've
know.
got to go there. You have to go there before he dies. Because
Oh, yeah,
he's old.
I've heard about it. Some friends of mine who lived there wanted us to do a TV show. There's so many. Calvin and I were joking about round tuits on the way down here, and I wrote a column about it. My editor didn't know what a round tuit was because they made them, and you know the old phrase, when I get a round tuit.
Oh, yes.
Then they made these round tuits a little bigger than a wooden nickel,
Oh.
and so people said, "Here, now you got a round tuit." You can always get around to it.
Oh,
All right, I want to see these.
okay.
I'm
I'd
going
like
to
to
show this one because we showed this photograph.
It's in the back, right? On the back?
Yep. I'll show you the photograph after I show you the actual finished product. And here's the photograph that you have in your book. And tell me what this is again, Jess.
The Adirondack steamer on Bell's boat dock in Chateauguay Lake.
Now, you had a name for this. What is it?
Oh, wood and intarsia wood carving.
Intarsia wood carving. Now, just looking at this, people would have no idea whether you just took a piece of wood and a jackknife and incised all this. These are separate parts
These,
that you
right,
carved.
you cut them with a saw, every part, stain them separately, then glue them back together, and then finish it up with some
I
lacquer.
jokingly said to Jess, you'd have to sell this for hundreds of dollars to make it worthwhile. I saw a price of $75 on it. That wouldn't be enough.
It did take a long time, 3-4 days.
You sure do work cheap, Jess, I'll tell you that. I want to see the other two. You've got two more like this somewhere.
Okay, see this picture here,
Which one?
this one,
That's the one, yeah, we showed that bathing at Collins Camp.
and
Right
this.
here on this side.
Yeah, with a suit on. We didn't show that one, okay.
Oh, okay.
This is this.
Oh, yes, it is. Look
It's
at
a little
this.
abstract.
Oh, we like a little abstract, because I've been a little abstract for years. I bet you this one took more than a couple days. No?
About the same.
Now, what kinds of wood is involved here?
I just use pine. A lot of people use the hardwoods and they don't stain them. They do it all natural.
Wow, this is beautiful work. Where's the other one? I thought you. Oh,
I
you
have
got
another
your.
one. I was just looking
Oh,
for
you're
the
looking
other
for the picture.
I thought was in here.
So this is a relatively new endeavor for you, right, Jess?
I just started this last year.
Well, what gave you the idea? You saw them somewhere.
I've seen them at craft fairs and always thought it was interesting and that it looked like I could do it. So I bought a saw
I think
and
you
a
could do
sander.
whatever
and-
you decided to do. You got a place out in the garage, or where do you?
Well, yeah, I just have a spot out there.
Just a little spot that you
Yes.
choose. You are an artist.
I have also sold another one of a picture out of this
Oh, I
book.
like that one. I really, really like that.
I got
Then you
$300
put,
for
well, you
it.
put a backing on it too, right? So
That is the backing. But that was one of my first ones. These are my first ones that I made. So, you know, I get better over time. These were after
that's pretty
3
darn-
months of just doing it,
It's absolutely beautiful, Jess.
the beginning of it. So those are originals. There'll never be another one like it. I mean, I can do the same scene,
I don't know
but
how you can.
they'll never be the
I don't know
same.
how you can sell a one-of-a-kind item. That's why I have so much stuff around my house, because it's all absolutely unique.
Oh, I guess that other one isn't in there.
So do you have what? While we're sitting here, what other projects do you have that you'd like to tackle in the future? Not that you have a lot of spare time if you're doing all of this stuff.
I am.
What else would
Haven't
you like
even
to
thought
do?
about that.
You haven't
I
about
figure I'll be busy.
one day at a
and-
time?
Yep. Well, there's got to be another book to come out, and I have my color photography.
Have you already planned another book?
It's in the works. I still have, another 300 or so images to put.
Just is that all?
Yeah, that's all.
Well, look at this. She's got just to tell people there's stacks of stuff all around. Color. We haven't even talked about color because I love black and white. But look at this. Now these were all color photographs. These aren't tinted, right? These
Right.
aren't colorized. These are.
These are color photographs that I took. No, this is an actual scene. It was a beautiful snow cloud sunset that day. There's
Look at
other pictures that go with it. I have a series of them.
We've interviewed people who take photographs like this, then they go home and paint those scenes and
Right.
sell oil paintings
Do you believe people buy these and paint?
and then paint them. Oh,
Right.
sure they do. We might even be able to suggest a market after we go off the camera. Because we know somebody who just goes out in the morning, takes pictures. These are all your photographs or
Yes.
others?
No, they're all
These
mine.
are yours.
See, I love the Adirondacks. I love the rivers.
Well, how can you not? There is something about this place that not only attracts us, but keeps us here. That's something I joke about all the time. When I first moved here, I didn't intend to stay here for more than 6 months.
Right?
You know?
This is the John Brown farm. I went there a
Just
couple
look
of years
at this,
ago.
Calvin. This is a reflection.
Yes. Beautiful day that
And
day.
I was looking through photographs that I took in Ireland a year ago now. And some of the reflections like this in the water of the old cottages
Oh.
and the old rivers. Oh, just, I mean, there's some places you can stand there on a fall day and just snap pictures all day and have
Yep.
a different picture wherever you go. Just move the camera just a tiny little bit and you've got another wonderful shot. Jesse, these are great.
This is one I call watercolors because of the.
It is because it's beautiful pastel, light, tender, soft colors. You know, when you're a good photographer, and I don't have to tell you this, you can almost feel when the picture is right.
Right.
We have, what's his name, Sweet?
This is a picture. Huh?
Oh, you didn't,
No, that's what.
remember, what's his first name? Sweet? Took all the photographs of the John Deere tractors and
Oh, Aussie Sweet.
Aussie Sweet, and he would take sometimes a half an hour to compose, to wait for the clouds to get over.
This I took on this road, and there's an angel in the sky. Can you see it? Right
I'm
here.
gonna look for it.
There's an angel in the sky.
Turn the top. I can't get it blurry.
This way?
Turn the top
She's-
toward me. There you go.
She's
Okay.
sideways with her hands praying.
Okay, let's look and do.
Oh, isn't that neat?
This is up to.
Do you see pictures in the pictures within the pictures sometimes
Yes.
in the sky and so on? I love that stuff, don't you?
This is the ski jumps.
Look at this. That's a lovely shot, Jess.
From John Brown's farm.
Yep.
And this is
For a while, we thought John Brown's farm might close up, but they decided to keep it open. I wonder if anybody put pressure on them. Oh yeah, Scottish Highland. Where's this one, Jess?
right in Moira, on the outside of Moira.
Yeah,
Just
you
as you're
don't
going
see
out.
many of these cattle here, do you?
No.
You see them in the Scottish Highlands, though, and I did, along with about 4 billion sheep. And why were they always in the road when I was going around the corner? That's what I want to know.
Did you know in Scotland that men are men and sheep get nervous?
Sheep get what?
Nervous.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, we spent a lot of time in Scotland a few years ago. Made some real nice tours with our kids, and
I like old barns. That's a picture of Al's head in a barn up there.
yeah, that's. So you're just driving along, Jess, and you said, okay, that looks good, and you stopped the car?
Right.
Why not?
Well, and I was up there selling pictures and stuff, so I was, feel like a part of the place when you start
Butterflies?
meeting everything. Now, Mr. Bonesteel wanted me to get a picture of monarch butterfly on his butterfly bushes.
Look at this.
Well, I said,
That's a classic.
guess what? I didn't only get a monarch butterfly on a butterfly bush, but I got a mating.
Oh, is it? How about dragonflies? You ever get any dragonflies?
I got a couple, but they're hard. They're hard to get.
Oh, I've got some nice dragonflies.
I got some nice butterflies.
We were talking about migrating birds, but the monarch butterfly migrates, and how do they do it? How
I don't
do
know.
they migrate so far? Aren't they beautiful?
There's some flowers. Oh,
How can you not take pictures of beautiful flowers?
oh
This
we
is
have.
a wonderful gift of nature, isn't it? When you have, when my wife has the flowers going in the spring and summer, I just walk around the house, getting down on the ground and up on the side, and side pictures and close-ups and faraway pictures, and
These have to go in a book.
just the flowers.
Just the color photography. I have to put a book together of.
Well, get going.
that.
Come on, let me see that rooster over there. I like that. Is that a hen?
Yes, that's a little hen.
Oh, look at that.
Old English bantam. We raise them ourselves.
Oh, do you?
Well,
Here?
we've had different. Every year we get something different. This year we have mallards. But these were some of the chickens that
Oh, there.
we had.
Oh, look at this one. Look at the coloring on this one. Isn't that amazing?
This is another shot off of our road. I used to walk up and down the street at sunset time and see what God would give me, and that's one
Is
of
this
the
called the
scenes.
Southwood Road?
Yes.
Oh, it is. Okay. And I want to know, was it called the Southwood Road forever, or was that a
Oh,
relative?
it's got 3 different names.
Oh, I do.
Southwood,
Huh?
East Dickinson.
East Dickinson,
Road,
farther down, we used to
and
call it the
Eswood
East Dickinson.
Road.
S-Wood?
S.
Period.
Yeah.
Wood, or Southwood,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
South.
Did you ever see elongated katydid?
Oh my goodness. Where did you find this one?
In our garden.
In your garden? Isn't that talk about God's creatures, huh?
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Well,
Yeah, these just spectacular.
we plant a lot of flowers.
We love flowers at our house. And Kay's the same way. She's the one that's in charge of the flowers.
I even made postcards. There's postcards for different areas.
Oh, you did? Have you got, you still
I
got
have
them?
some design too that I want to make eventually. I'm getting there, slowly but surely.
Now, let me reiterate. This is Jesse Kenyon, in case you just turned the TV on. Maybe your TiVo just showing you can go back and watch the whole thing, or watch it again and again and again at hometowncablenetwork.com or plattsburgh.com. But we love to talk to clever and talented people. And she has all these old photographs, many of which she didn't take, but myriad photographs that she has taken, mostly around the North Country, right?
Right.
The Adirondack region. Now, once again, Jess, let me, if people look at this stuff and say, wow, Doesn't this look like a little old lady?
Yeah.
Isn't that wonderful?
I went to a bird show.
Look at the face. Look at the face. How can people get in contact with you? You have a website? No.
I'm on Facebook.
On Facebook.
Public can view my albums. They don't have to join Facebook because some people don't like to.
That's true.
But they are public for anyone that wants to see them. Adirondack.lifestyles at gmail.com.
At gmail.com.
Jesse Kenyon. And that's how you
So
find
they'll
me on
contact
Facebook.
you.
Still Kenyon.
Kenyon. And that's my email. You can just email me, or you can find me as Gardner740 on eBay.
Oh, you got the special eBay thing, huh? You like all kinds of things. I guess you like butterflies by the looks of things.
Well, Mr. Bonesteel made a butterfly garden, but I do love butterflies. But he made this butterfly garden that's giant, and I took pictures for him and made bookmarks for him of all the butterflies that I got.
It's amazing. I'm glad you mentioned that, because you can make just about anything out of pictures, can't you?
Right.
Bookmarks and
Murals.
placemats and murals and so on. Jesse, you're a wonderful person. We're going to chat some more with you in just a second, okay? As I said 1,000 times before, time flies when you're having fun. And I guess you know, Jess, that Calvin and I love old pictures. So this is a real pleasure for us. But Calvin was attracted to your the beautiful things you do on the internet by the trains, because we have done quite a few train shows. And some of these are very interesting. Where are these from, the glass plates, or where are these come from?
I believe so.
Got it?
I'll just see what it is. It's a
Oh,
train wreck.
It's
Oh,
a
I
train
thought you
wreck
got it.
for the Ottawa-Boston line, I believe. Canadian Atlantic.
boxcar in a wreck. Possibly Mountain View. And this one, holy
That's
mackerel.
the same one, just the other view of it.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
And if you think I can read that little tiny print, you got another thing coming. I got special glasses for that. It's called a microscope. Oh, Cascade Chair Company built electric railroad. Look at this. So you got a lot. I got a lot of railroad shots. Oh my.
Well, some of these shots are from the museum, but I had a lot of ones
Diamond
taken.
Malone Junction, 1910. Boy, look at this. Talk about when men were men and snowplows were snowplows, huh? Men working on the Owl's Head Railroad, the 1800s, Belmont. I wrote a column one time about Gandhi dancers. And most people, I'm sure, who are watching this program have no clue what I'm talking about. But Gandhi dancers were the railroad people, mostly wonderful black people who worked on the railroad, the southern railroads way back in the 1800s. And they worked rhythmically when they were setting ties. And oh yeah, and they worked rhythmically, and they sang songs. You've seen them when they swung the axes
Oh,
and
yes, I
pickaxes
love
and hammers.
that.
And so they called them Gandhi dancers, and I believe that the name Gandhi came from a Chicago tool company way back when that made railroad tools, and so they called them Gandhi dancers.
Ah.
Now it's evolved into something brand new. Santa Clara, I haven't been there for a long time. Have you been to Santa Clara?
We go through it.
Yeah.
Travel
It's,
through that to get to Saranac Lake a lot.
Just about a ghost town,
Yes,
you know.
just
But
about.
there are so many ghost towns in
As
this
a matter
area.
of fact, the guy across the street owned the Santa Clara Lodge.
No.
Yes.
Isn't that amazing? Look at the first railroad bridge in Malone. Those are great. Bridge repair, Delaware, Lackawanna, Western Railroad, Malone, New York. People who, Dave Brown and my friends who are railroad nuts are going to say, oh, wait a minute, slow down, you're going too fast. Rutland Railroad Station in Brushton. A lot of these old railroad stations were still around, even though they were derelict by the 1950s when I lived in this area. Oh, look at that.
This
Mountain
is-
View Train Shop.
This is awesome. I zoomed in and looked at the carving on the building where they
You did not. Did you
carved
really?
in.
You could see it?
Yes, and that Dr. Newcomb carved his name in there.
Oh, look at that. Of course, all over the place, but you would not know that from
And
here.
then you look here, and there's a man with a doctor bag hiding right behind this
Behind
guy.
there.
And there's quite a few signatures, but you look at it, it's all dilapidated. The door's all crooked. There's a wheelbarrow hanging out
Oh,
the window.
There's the Rutland Station from Brushton. I remember when we used to pick up the fresh air kids at Messina Springs at the railroad station when I was a little kid. Inside Ballard's Mill, boy, I've been in that building. True, the building's still there, isn't it? In Malone, Ballard's Mill? I don't know what it is now.
Got 2 minutes to talk about our postcards there.
Okay, 2 minutes to talk about the postcards. Our producer says. You talked about some of the pictures or all of them going into postcards.
Some
Some?
that are interesting.
Now, do you have a
tourist.
collection already done now
Right.
that people can order? Either one or a whole set?
Some of them I actually made for certain stores. I let
Oh,
them
here's a
pick out
picture
what
that
they
we
want.
showed earlier, right? Oh, this
Oh,
is
the bridge in the park.
Notre Dame?
Yes.
Yes.
Everybody loved that
Oh,
because they
absolutely.
cross that bridge to go to school every day.
Look at this, boy.
So it's a popular
This is what
picture.
you call horsepower.
That's the golf course being built in
Oh, my
1939.
goodness. And how much do we love to go up there and not play golf, but to eat at the golf club. Oh, these are wonderful. I got a chance to show every single one. Boating at Fish Creek. It's still a very, very popular Rollins Pond, Fish Creek camping spot.
And I
Even
sell
down
my
today.
pictures there.
Really?
That guy lets me park in his parking lot sometimes, set my tent up.
Jesse, this is a real kick. Jesse, I have to say that Jesse did not agree to do this without some trepidation, because you're not sure what's going to happen.
Right.
And your mother, for being a shy person, got her 2 cents worth in the whole thing, didn't she? Huh?
Yeah.
It's wonderful to meet both of you. I can see where the talent comes from, and I admire the places you've been, where you've done, and how do you get? What are you saying?
Get the contacts again. Where that,
Oh, how to get a hold of you once again at the end?
Adirondack.lifestyles@gmail.com.
That's
And
the
you can
best way.
find me on Facebook by using the same email address. And you don't have to join to look at the albums. I have albums of all my work on there and all the pictures.
You might have throngs of people knocking at your door. You never know.
So every now and then somebody gives me a call from Connecticut or somewhere. The guy tracked me down from Walmart. He saw pictures at Walmart. He was asking in there and nobody knew where they got them from. So he went to the Telegram and they told him to go to Bone Steel. So he went there and then he found my card in the back of a picture and
I love it.
called me.
The word will get out, Jesse. Thanks so much for inviting us into your home. And Mommy, too.
Gotcha.
That's wonderful. Best of luck with
Thank you
everything
so
you do.
much.
If you do something else that you think is special, let us know. And maybe someday we can come back.
Okay.
And who knows?